Namaste. I am Shambhuraja Nimbalkar Khardekar from Chhatrapati Shahu Vidyalaya. I am studying in class 9th. Mahatma Gandhi was one of the greatest influencers of India. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on October 2nd, 1869 at Porbandar in the present-day state of Gujarat. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was Diwan of Porbandar. Gandhiji's mother, Putlibai Gandhi, was devoted practitioner of Vaishnavism. At the age of 19, Gandhiji left home to study law in London. Upon returning to India in mid-1891, he set up a practice in Bombay but met with little success. He soon accepted a position with an Indian firm that sent him to the office in South Africa. Along with his wife, Kasturbai, and their children Gandhi remained in South Africa for nearly 20 years. Gandhiji was astonished by the discrimination he experienced as an Indian immigrant in South Africa. When a European magistrate in Durban asked him to take off his turban, he refused and left the courtroom. On a train journey to Pretoria, he was thrown out of a first-class railway compartment and beaten up by a white stagecoach driver after refusing to give up his seat for a European passenger. This train journey served as a turning point in Gandhiji's life. Gandhiji established Natal Indian Congress in 1894. This organization led non-violent protests against unjust treatment of white people towards native Africans and Indians. In 1915, Gandhiji returned to India. Gandhiji's philosophy had four fundamental principles: truth, that is Satya; non-violence, that is Ahimsa; welfare of all, that is Sarvodaya; and peaceful protest, that is Satyagraha. These principles hold people together and hence form the backbone of Dharma, which means to hold together. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy is still applicable in today's world. For a few moments, if we forget Gandhiji altogether and focus on what is going around us, then we find that, as per the United Nations, at present, two things are at the biggest threat to us. They are violence and climate change. The whole humanity is suffering from violence. There are severe threats of war. Terrorism has spread like an epidemic and no country is safe from its hazard. Climate change is also a major threat to humanity. Climate change leads to degradation of the environment, global warming, holes in the ozone layer. The way we are exploiting natural resources, it is doubtful that if we will leave anything for the future generation. Take an example of one-horned rhino. They were found in Punjab and other parts of India, but now they are at the verge of extinction. There were some 1 lakh tigers till 1900, but now there are only 2,967 tigers left in India. We have lost vultures. Sparrows no more sing in our garden. 1947 we got freedom, but we lost our Indian cheetah forever. Unemployment is another big factor in India's economy. The developmental model that we have adopted is not creating enough jobs for the youth. Now, we will see how Gandhiji's ideology will help us to solve these problems. Gandhiji promoted non-violence. He made us understand that the philosophy of non-violence is not a weapon of the weak. It is the weapon which can be tried by all. To him, non-violence was not a negative concept, but a positive sense of love. He talked of loving the wrongdoers, but not the wrong. He strongly opposed any sort of submissions to wrongs and injustice in a different manner. He thought that the wrongdoers can be resisted only through surveillance of all relations with them. During the freedom struggle, Gandhiji introduced the spirit of Satyagraha to the world. Satyagraha means devotion to the truth, remaining firm on the truth and resisting untruth actively but non-violently. Gandhiji said that the earth has enough resources for our need but not for our greed. The founders of Chipko movement said that they got inspiration from Gandhiji's thoughts. Gandhiji had cautioned the world much before that any modern day environmentalists about the problems of large-scale industrialization which we are confronting today. Gandhiji visualized that mechanization will not only lead to industrialization, to massive urbanization, to unemployment, but will also lead to the destruction of the environment. His seminal work, Hind Swaraj, written 100 years ago in 1909, warned the dangers of the world is facing today in the form of environmental destruction and the threat to the planet. It is a misconception that Gandhiji was anti-technology. In fact, Charkha was a technological product. Gandhiji believed in decentralized manufacturing. He said that maximum population should live in rural areas. He said that if groundnuts are produced at a village level, then extracting oil from them should take over there. This will add value to the raw material and bring prosperity for the countryside. Migration from the rural area to urban area will come down and eventually stop. Probably, people will live a happy life with their family members. He was for those machine and technologies that do not make human hands useless. At the same time, he said these machines should give a sense of joy to the person operating on it. Gandhiji was against the caste system, which is still a taboo in India. And that was why he was in favor of Vedic system of Varna, where people were assigned to the certain Varnas on the basis of their work, not on birth, as followed in the harsh and unjust caste system. The term Harijana was coined by Gandhiji to pay people respect to the lower caste, and he did not enter the premises of the temple where lower caste people were not allowed. Thus, the Gandhian philosophy is useful to create a casteless society where everyone is treated equally irrespective of their caste. This all shows how influential Gandhiji's philosophy was. This extraordinary man was assassinated on 30th January 1948 in New Delhi. This is an absolute truth that if we, the people of India, adopt the principles laid down by Gandhiji, no one can stop us from being a superpower. At last, I salute this great man and end my speech. Jai Hind!